Welcome, Jack. It's good to have you here. Yeah, we tried to do this a few months ago, right? But my Wi-Fi didn't really hold up in that sort of New York hotel room, so
Happens
we're
when you
here
travel the
today.
world.
We're here today. So, well, look, let's get straight into it. Because we've been discussing this for a while now, so we'll just jump straight into it. And so, look, I seen one of your tweets right a few months ago, and it read, "At age 26, I became a millionaire because of Bitcoin. At 27, I became a multi-millionaire because of Bitcoin, and at 30, I'll become a billionaire because of Bitcoin." So that's a seriously powerful tweet, right? So Bitcoin has clearly changed your life. So I've a few questions sort of around that tweet, and my first one is, when was the first time you bought Bitcoin? And also, why did you initially buy it?
Oh yeah, great question. I mean, that tweet, I think it got a lot of traction. It really kind of empowered or motivated a lot of people. And yeah, a lot of questions kind of sprouted from that tweet. So it's a great question that you're asking. So I bought Bitcoin back in 2017. The price was give or take $1,000 or $2,000. I don't remember the exact price, but it was something around that area. And I bought it actually thanks to my dad. My dad, all his life, he's been doing like investing in stocks and things here and there. And he stumbled upon Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it wasn't in 2011 when we could have all been sat on some private island somewhere. But it was early enough that it was like $1,500, $2,000. And I thought, you know what? I'm interested in it. At the time, I was running a drop shipping company, just a very small kind of, I was selling pet toys and stuff like that online. And I actually decided to sell that business. Back then, it was like the world to me. I sold that business for, I believe it was $20,000, something along those lines. And back then, that seemed like I could retire from that money. It seemed crazy. But I put that money then all into Bitcoin. I just thought, sod it, I'm just going to put it all into Bitcoin at around $1,500. Granted, I'm not where I am today because of that $20,000 that I deposited into Bitcoin, because it's probably worth quite a bit of money, but nothing completely like life changing for the rest of your life. However, I do attribute a lot of my current success and the kind of the path it led me down because of that initial decision.
When did you start to see this play out for you? So when you first initially invested that $20,000, at what stage did you start to think, wow, I stumbled across something pretty big here?
Yeah. Well, I did it in, I think, the summer of 2017, and the price really started kicking off around, I think it was January or around January 2018, and that's when it went up to 20,000. So I put it in at, let's just say 2,000. It makes the math easier. I put it at 2,000 and went up to 20K. That's a 10x. So if I put 20K in, it went to 200K or roughly around about there for the simplicity. And yeah, then I really started to think, wow, this is completely insane. But I didn't just put this money in and kind of leave it there. I was growing my YouTube channel as well since then, since about August or September of 2017. So I was talking about Bitcoin and documenting it, about altcoins as well. So every little bit of maybe collaboration or sponsorship or affiliate money I got, I just put it back into Bitcoin or into altcoins as well. So that's really when I started to see a big change.
And so you mentioned your YouTube channel, right? I think you have about 200,000 subs
Yep.
now, and you talk about Bitcoin price action among other things as well on this. So moving on from there, what is your current thoughts on the current Bitcoin price action?
Well, as of right now, of filming this, I think the price is about $42,000. Recently, we had highs of just below $70,000, and yeah, a lot of people, maybe they even invested on the way up to 70,000, and now we're sitting at 40, and they may be a little bit panicky or think like, "What's going on? My money is down 40%." Well, I just say wait. Like, the best thing to do is just wait. Bitcoin and crypto, in my opinion, if you want to get rich quick in it, yes, you can, but also you can lose it even quicker than you get that money. So that's really the biggest thing. People, they get into crypto, they maybe put $1,000 in, it goes to $7,000. They think, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to leave it until it goes to 20,000, and then before they know it, they've got $500 or something. So it really is. It's a little bit of a risky game, but the way I kind of think about it right now is we're at a very pivotal point for Bitcoin. Long term, yes, I think we're going to meet 100, 200K, 300K, potentially $1 million in the distant future. However, right now, sitting at around 40,000, it's going to pivot one or two ways. If we break below down this $40,000 level, I could see around about $28,000, $29,000 coming into play. And this could be then, like previously, a couple of months ago, we saw this price. This could again be a bounce and be like the catalyst we need to break these new all-time highs. However, if we kind of find some support around this 40K level, which we've been doing, and we see enough traction, enough growth, enough volume, maybe more institutions come in and invest in it, then we could in fact see a nice shoot towards the upside and potentially back up to 50, 60K in the next few weeks. It's just at a very pivotal point right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you mentioned something good there about being patient, because a lot of people sort of jump into crypto initially because they look at the sort of get rich quick sort of side of it. And like you said, if there's certain things you can do and you can get rich quick if you sort of, go down sort of a little bit more of a riskier approach. But if you do want to invest in the overall sort of technology and you do believe where this is going, like you said, then you do have to play a bit more of a long game. And yeah, you mentioned something as well about the sort of institutions as well. So we've heard this narrative over and over about institutions are coming. Well, look, they're already here. Factually, they're already here, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. However, we do need to see more of it. So a question I have for you actually is, I've got a thing here up on CoinDesk, and it says Bitcoin held by funds. And it's obviously been on a sort of a downward trend and has gone pretty flat. So being that some of these institutions are already here and we're waiting for more to come, do you believe that we need more institutions to come to the table to see more adoption, or do you just believe the day-to-day use is needed now? Do you feel that we just need day-to-day use across all of the sort of all blockchain really?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think with companies like Tesla, for example, when we saw them accepting Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin as a company, I think it really brought kind of the mass kind of waves in of traditional people like me and you, for example, just normal everyday people that then start to take more of a look at Bitcoin. And yes, these companies buying lots of Bitcoin, they are doing a tremendous job for Bitcoin and crypto over in general in the whole. However, I think that we need more just people to get into it. I think, I'm not sure of the percentage, but it's still a very, very low percent of people actually in crypto. It's kind of comparison to the internet back in like 97 or something like that. So it's still extremely early. So yeah, these companies doing it, buying Bitcoin and stuff, it's going to have a great effect. However, they don't buy Bitcoin on they don't just log into Binance and buy Bitcoin like $2 billion of Bitcoin on Binance. They don't do that. It's all kind of closed behind closed doors and OTC. So it doesn't really have an effect on the actual market. What it does, it just takes that supply of Bitcoin off the market, and probably they will not sell it at least for a few years. So if there's less supply and there's more demand, it just increases the price.
Yeah, it's like a delayed spike that we're waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and last year as well. So not comparing as far as use case, but comparing sort of ETH and Bitcoin. So last year, ETH outperformed Bitcoin by I think around 300%, right? And at the same time, we've seen DeFi as a whole go pretty wild, with NFTs, the metaverse gaming, etc. So what do you see for sort of 2022 comparing performance solely with Bitcoin and ETH?
What do I think is going to perform just as well as them as last year?
Well, sorry, which one do you think will perform best out of Bitcoin and ETH in 2022?
I've got to say Ethereum, really, just because Bitcoin, right now we're at 40K. If we go to 100K, that's only like a 2.3x or something like that. And if Ethereum just goes back to recent all-time highs, that's like a 1.5x. So really, I think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. I said to many new people, of course, it's not financial advice, but when you're getting into crypto, if you have $5,000 or $10,000, don't just put that into Bitcoin, because even if Bitcoin goes to 500,000, you will 10x your money. Whereas there are some altcoins out there, for example, like Elrond or Solana, that did more than these in just the space of a few months. So really, the way I look at it is, any profits I make from Ethereum or Solana or altcoins or any other aspects of business that I want to keep kind of invested for the long term, that's when I put it into Bitcoin. I don't personally just buy Bitcoin every week or two and just keep buying like 0.1 here, 0.1 there. I don't do that. I take profits from my altcoins or my other ventures and put it into Bitcoin as kind of like a savings account, like someone would buy gold, something like that. Because while, yeah, I think it's going to go to 1 million eventually, it's going to take time. It's going to have a lot of swing highs, swing lows, and it's going to be almost a painful ride. But however, I know long term, my money's safer in Bitcoin, in my opinion, than it is gold or than it is fiat, something like that.
Yeah. And sort of off the back of that question, then, what are your thoughts on NFTs? You know, some say they're in a huge bubble, but they've been saying that for months. And let's be honest, all asset prices across the world have gone wild, not just NFTs. So what are your thoughts on NFTs at the moment?
I do hold some NFTs, nothing crazy. I think I have around $50,000 or $60,000 worth of NFTs. Maybe to the average Joe watching, that's a lot, but when you're kind of, your whole life is crypto, it's really not. I have friends that have got like millions and millions of dollars in NFTs. However, I didn't decide to do that. Instead of buying the NFTs, I was going to buy a couple of CryptoPunks and a Bored Ape. Instead of doing that, I actually purchased some property in Dubai. Personally, I think it's maybe a better solution long term, and that brings me to say that yeah, most of these NFTs, I think they probably will not be around long term. Maybe ones that have recently launched and there's no real utility, or there's just no use case. It's just a cool thing to have. I really don't think they're going to be around long term. Let's say the market starts dumping, someone's not going to be wanting to hold a 300,000 pound like effectively JPEG on the blockchain. It's not realistic. People with massive wealth, okay, fair enough, they can afford it, but people are going to start selling it when the market goes down, and the price of these NFTs are gonna dump a lot. I think long term, other than maybe CryptoPunk or a Bored Ape, even then they will lose value. I think long term they're going to lose 60 to 70% of their value.
Yeah, and NFTs as well. For the average day-to-day person that's not really like heavily invested in crypto and doesn't really research crypto, if you mention NFT, the first thing that comes to their mind is a colorful picture of an animal or something, right? When you look at NFT and the NFTs and the technology behind it, like, we're going to be seeing like day-to-day use case for NFTs, not just the pictures that people see, the JPEGs, but, you know, NFT mortgages. We're going to see probably, or NFT concert tickets, NFT music albums that we've already seen, like Tory Lanez, etc. So when people do think about NFTs, they only think about the pictures, right? But NFTs can be will be tied to pretty much everything. They're going to digitize everything, really, right? So yeah, and I'm sure you've seen the movie Ready Player One, right? With all the you know, with all the metaverse now mainstream since Facebook's announcement of Meta, all sort of metaverse tokens started pumping off the back of that news, right? So my question to you is, how far away do you think we are from Ready Player One?
Yeah, I think this is quite a long way away, actually. This like the kind of demo that Mark Zuckerberg released with Meta, I think it's pretty far-fetched for today's kind of age. I think maybe we will see some kind of basic kind of virtual reality where we have meetings and stuff, but I think as of now it's more kind of gimmicky than it is actually a valid use case, in my opinion. I think, yeah, in 10 20 years maybe it will happen. We will see people like living better lives in the metaverse and stuff, and already there are people out there accumulating land in the metaverse, buying like digital real estate in the metaverse. And I think long term it will be, I think it's a better kind of area than NFTs, in my opinion. I think the metaverse is has a lot of utility, actually, and a lot of use case coming into the future. Just as of now, it is extremely hyped, just like NFTs. And yeah, I think the hype will stay around. I just don't feel it's to stay sustainable for the kind of the next year or two. It's just when we have these new kind of hypes in crypto, for example, first of all, we had DeFi that was going like crazy over the last 2 years. Now, a lot of DeFi has kind of slowed down a little bit, like Pancake Swap, Sushi Swap, Uniswap. A lot of these, they still have a great use case. Like they're still being used by millions of people. Just the token prices are definitely not what they were. Some of them are down 60, 70%. So I do think kind of crypto goes through these hype phases. And as of right now, we're seeing a lot of hype in the metaverse and the gaming kind of crypto industry. And I do think it will be here long term. Like video games like Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Steam, they're not going away. They're not going anywhere. And I think with metaverse, it will, and gaming, like GameFi, it will really will bridge them together. I just think it's a little bit early as of now, which is a good thing if you want to invest. It's definitely a good thing. Just as of like signing on to the metaverse for board meetings and stuff with employees in a top company, I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, we only just transitioned to Zoom and Teams, right?
Yeah, because of COVID. Yeah.
So when it comes to like blockchain as a whole, like the underlying tech of what we see in these sort of crypto projects, where do you see that fit into our future as humans? Like, which industries do you think that's going to affect the most?
I think one of the biggest sectors is going to be government. So having your ID, your passport, your driver's license, maybe your tenancy contract of your rent, like all linked by the government and you on the blockchain. So there's no kind of discretionary things. I think law is going to be a huge one as well. Having the blockchain involved with law, there's no kind of funny business. It's all there on the blockchain. I think already we're starting to see things like designer brands have kind of authenticity checks on the blockchain. You can kind of hold your phone up to, again, I believe it's a Montclair jacket. You can hold your phone up against it and kind of verify the legitimacy of it. So I think this is going to be a really, really huge sector. Also kind of postal services and stuff. I think they're going to be using the blockchain as well. It's going to be, yeah, the blockchain is whichever one you use, it's completely revolutionary. And even in Dubai now, that they're using the blockchain for some government things. I'm not sure exactly what, but I know they are using the blockchain for some government things. So I think mainly government is going to be kind of the first step that we're going to see, and then on from there.
Yeah, and you mentioned Dubai, right? So Dubai being very crypto friendly, what do you think, apart from what you just mentioned on what they're using with the blockchain, what do you think Dubai is doing different to other countries?
I think they're kind of, unlike other countries, Dubai is very open to change. For example, the UK, they would never, not necessarily, but I couldn't see them allowing like massive crypto hubs and attracting companies like multi-billion-dollar companies like Binance there. Like Binance are recently just opening a hub in the IFC, the financial district of Dubai. And Dubai is kind of open arms and welcoming people. They're now introducing many different crypto licenses here. And yeah, it's not illegal or frowned upon. Even you can pay for property and apartments in Bitcoin and crypto. Of course, other countries you can as well. But I think Dubai is just really willing to change. We've seen the city grow exponentially over the last 20, 30 years. So I think they really, when they see a trend coming about, which is there to stay, they want to hop on board and they want to attract as many people from that industry as possible. Like crypto, it's a massive industry. There's a lot of money in it. And of course, Dubai want to be a part of that.
Yeah, they're very, very open to the use of crypto. So, and
exactly.
Moving over to sort of DeFi, we just mentioned DeFi a few minutes ago, and recently we've seen a bit of a rebound in the sort of total value locked into DeFi. It's weird because price action doesn't look so good at the moment, but if we sort of measure the sort of how much the digital asset value has been collateralized for the loans inside of the DeFi system at the moment, now that's rebounding. It's a bit of a disconnection between price action and the TVL. So what do you think that means overall?
I mean, there's a big difference between use case and price action. Use case, maybe like if you look at the price of Bitcoin now, many more thousands of people are using Bitcoin, but still the price is down like 20, 30, 40% since the recent all-time highs. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's in fact better to look at the amount of people using it and the use case like DeFi, total amount locked. It's better to look at this than it is just to look at the price of a token or an asset. I mean, with this DeFi, the total amount DeFi locked like increasing, a lot of people are taking like DeFi backed loans, crypto backed loans. These are extremely popular right now. People are even making a lot of money from them. Like for example, giving up 5 Bitcoin, getting 2.5 Bitcoin back, putting that Bitcoin into an altcoin. Maybe the altcoin goes up 5, 10 times, paying that loan off and then having the extra profit there. While risky, yeah, of course, because if the price turns and we go into a bear market, you can be left without your crypto that you put as the deposit. I think it's an amazing use case. And I think that's really why we are seeing a lot of people still using DeFi and the DeFi industry still growing, even though the price may not be. It's just simply because of use case.
And which platforms in regards to crypto-backed loans, would you use personally?
For me, the best one is Nexo or BlockFi. They're the ones that I use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I'm a Nexo fan too.
Yeah, Nexo's nice.
So for anyone that, hasn't invested right now, and, this is definitely going to be down to a person's individual risk appetite. But from your perspective, for a newbie, what percentage of their sort of liquid net worth would you think that they should maybe allocate towards crypto?
It really depends. It depends, because if they've got a net worth of a couple million, what I would say to them is different compared to someone who's got a net worth of a couple of £1,000 and they're living paycheck to paycheck. So first of all, if you're living like paycheck to paycheck, I would just start by putting 50 or 60 pounds or $100 into crypto. Once you put that in, you kind of get the crypto bug and you kind of want to research about it more. You want to look into it more. You want to find new opportunities, and they can really start to help your focus in crypto and really start to drive your portfolio up. If you've already got like a couple $1,000,000 sitting around, or a couple £100,000, maybe you're into real estate, or you have a traditional business with a nice bit of cash flow, I would just say start with a couple of percent, like 5% or something, and from there leave it a few months, see how it goes, and just keep in mind that yes, crypto is a longer term investment. However, it's not as long term as something like real estate or something like that. For example, real estate, you might get a 7 to 10% return. To make your full money back, you've got to put it in there for like 10 years, 12, 13, 14 years. In crypto, 10, 12, 13, 14 years, you could go from like 10K to like 2 million or something like that. It really is possible. So just putting, for example, even for example, Tesla, the money they put into Bitcoin, they made more profit from that than they did the full year selling cars. I mean, it's completely crazy. Of course, they kind of help swing the market towards the upside a little bit. But if someone with a lot of money puts in 5 or 10% into crypto, this 5 or 10% could actually turn into like 90% of their total wealth in just the space of a year. So if they can afford to risk 5 or 10% and lose it comfortably without having any adverse effects, like not putting a roof over their head or feeding their family, then I think it's an incredibly smart move. And it's something that I would do. I'm personally, I don't know, I think 99.3 or something percent invested in crypto. I have all my money in crypto. Actually less now because I recently bought some property. But up until then, I was all in crypto. So as of any moment, I could check my bank account and I'd probably have $1,000 or $2,000 in it, and that's it. And I'm like multi-millionaire and I have all this money in crypto, but I just don't hold any in my bank because it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. Just when I need to pay a bill or something, I convert it from crypto into fiat, and then I pay something. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, cool. And you mentioned that you bought some real estate recently, and no, we had a coffee last week, and you was telling me about some of the things you had going on. So what type of things are you working on right now? What's the future hold for you?
So for me right now, I have my YouTube channel. I have a course where I teach people how to make money with crypto and stuff. I have an indicator which is launching, just helps people trade crypto. I have affiliate deals and stuff like that, and also I have sponsorships and investing in upcoming like pre-sales of companies in the next kind of 6 to 12 months. Most likely, I'm going to be launching my own crypto project. So I can't really say too much, and it's still very, very early stages. But we're kind of at the whiteboard drafting ideas and drafting stuff, hiring people for that. But as of probably 2 days, I've just signed a lease for like a big office around 5,500 square feet in Dubai. So I'm excited to get that and fill it full of people and just get hard work and dedicated focus towards this new crypto project, which hopefully I'll be launching in the summer.
Looking forward to it. Now, I've got some $1 billion questions, or it's just questions to wrap this up, right? So you'll probably be asked this quite a lot. What's your price prediction for Bitcoin end of year 2022?
End of year 2022, I think as of right now, we're sitting at around 40,000. I think most likely around 200,000 plus or minus 30K. So maybe 170K. Maybe 230K, in my opinion. That's if we go bullish. If we turn bearish, I think we could drop down to like 25, 24K and kind of stay around there, maybe pump up to around 38K. But that's my opinion. I think around 170K is my prediction.
Cool. And the same for Ethereum?
Ethereum. So Ethereum right now is, I think, $3,300. I think if we see a Bitcoin of like 170K, there is no reason why we can't see like at least a 10 to 15K Ethereum, at least. I mean, we saw recent highs of pretty much $5,000. That would only then be a 2x from there. And if we see Bitcoin go to 170K, that's like a 3x. So I really think a $10,000 Ethereum, although maybe it sounds crazy, it's definitely not crazy at all. So that would be at least a minimum price target. Again, if we are bullish, if no crazy global recession or more lockdowns and stuff, none of this stuff happens, then hopefully that should play out.
Okay, and last but not least, what is your favorite altcoin based on performance only for 2022?
Based on what I think will perform the best?
Yeah, so nothing to do with the use case, just based on which one you think will perform the best in 2022.
I think the safest one is just Solana. It's currently like $140. I'm not sure what the all-time high was. I think it was around, give or take, 300, 250, 300. But I think easily it can be $1,000. Like easily, it will be no stretch at all for it to be $1,000. When we look at Ethereum, the gas fees, they're completely crazy. They've been saying that they're going to get, Vitalik's been saying it's going to get fixed. It just has not. We're seeing sometimes hundreds of dollars just to make a transaction on Ethereum network. And it's just not affordable. If someone wants to buy $50 of Ethereum and then move it to another wallet, with that $50, they have to pay $200 fee. Like it's just not, it's not practical. So Solana really, it's kind of like a better, quicker, more scalable Ethereum, and the fees are literally a couple of percent compared to Ethereum. So that's what I think. I think we can easily see a 10x from Solana this year, putting up to around, that would put it at $14,000, but around 8x would put it around $10,000. So I think Solana, honestly, I just bought some yesterday. I think I bought 60K more of Solana at $138, something like that. So yeah, that's what I think.
I love Solana. So yeah, it did like 1,200% in 6 weeks last year.
Yeah,
right?
it went insane. It went insane. Even my girlfriend, she bought it at around $12 and sold it at near the all-time high. Yeah, she made a lot of money from that. I didn't even buy it that cheap.
Oh yeah, you need to follow her.
I know, man. I know.
Well, look, Jack, it was awesome having you on, and I really appreciate your time. And I look forward to catching up with you out in Dubai at some point.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate your time and great questions, great podcast. And I hope people watching this, maybe they just go and buy like $10, $15 of Bitcoin or crypto, and hopefully it will whet their appetite and get them involved.
Love that. Nice one. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, mate.
Cool.